Moving on to Episode 5, Gamma is reporting to Alpha that the Trade Federation's attacks on the transportation train are decreasing. The market is still dominated by Mitsugoshi. Additionally, the Trade Federation, which supplies paper money and creates credit, will surely be burdened by these actions. If this condition continues, they will be destroyed by the weight of their own creation. All of this aligns with Alpha's expectations. Furthermore, she warns Gamma not to get involved in matters between Mitsugoshi and Shadow Garden. If they do, the credit could collapse in an instant. To preserve it, they must be extremely cautious. This is the teaching from Shadow to them. Suddenly, Nu enters the room to report that intruders have arrived. Alpha immediately sends Nu to deal with it. However, Gamma takes the initiative to handle it himself. Of course, Alpha is very doubtful and acts as if she didn't hear Gamma's words. Nevertheless, Gamma remains adamant in taking on this matter. As a precaution, Alpha instructs Omega and K to accompany Gamma. When Gamma has left, Alpha suspects that Gamma will be fine. After all, he is already 17 years old. Meanwhile, the intruders who have arrived turn out to be the remaining 3 members of Yotsuba. They are a little surprised that they were able to enter so easily. Their target is an elf woman named Luna, who is Gamma's false identity. Suddenly, Gamma herself appears to welcome them. They are startled as they are immediately pushed back by a strong wind. However, the Yotsuba members are confident that they can win and do not see any guards around Luna. The strongest member among the Yotsuba becomes arrogant, as no one has ever survived facing him. He quickly moves behind Gamma and attacks Gamma's head with his bare hands. However, Gamma only complains of pain and is not seriously injured. Gamma protests that he should have attacked with full force from the front. Then, it's Gamma's turn to attack. He thrusts his sword very quickly, but the man realizes that Gamma is just an amateur who moves fast. Somehow, Gamma immediately recognizes that the man is using the Lichtenlauer martial arts style from his movements. He states that he can easily handle the enemy once he knows their martial arts style. However, the man is surprised because he doesn't change his attack even though Gamma knows about it. When the man sees an opportunity, he quickly pulls out a dagger from his armor and targets Gamma's head once again. But once again, Gamma only complains of pain, and the dagger is not even able to hurt his head. Gamma praises the man for successfully attacking him. Therefore, he will start to get serious. Gamma now coats his sword with a very large amount of magical energy. He says that this technique is taught by his master. When they were still young, Sid felt that Gamma's body specifications were very high. Unfortunately, it was not supported by his abilities. Therefore, Sid told him to use a lot of magical energy and attack freely. That's what Gamma is doing now. However, as usual, Gamma suddenly stumbles on his own. His attack goes off course and destroys the building around him. Gamma believes that the man set a trap to make him stumble. The man is confused by what is happening. One thing is clear, he does not want to deal with the woman in front of him anymore. When the man tells his comrades to retreat, they have already been defeated by Omega and K. Gamma warns them to be cautious of the man's power, even though she stumbled on her own. Nevertheless, Gamma still wants to continue the fight, and now she will fight with all her might. The man sees an escape route from the impact of Gamma's attack, but Gamma will not let him get away. He envelopes his sword with a large amount of magical energy, and once again, he stumbles. His sword is thrown at the man, causing another explosion. The next day, Garter reported to Getten that none of the Yotsuba members had returned. The reinforcements sent by them also couldn't be contacted. In this situation, it would be better if Getten could obtain the children's forces. However, the church is currently in a difficult situation, and they cannot lend out the children carelessly, especially after the previous incident with Zenon. Nevertheless, Getten sees this as his opportunity to gain power. The Trade Federation is just a pawn to him. He desires power that cannot be taken away by anyone, just like the swordsman he once saw with cardboard armor. Meanwhile, Sid is currently sparring with Alexia. Of course, Sid will let himself be defeated. Nevertheless, Sid believes that Alexia will continue to grow from now on. He feels that she might be going through a change in her thinking or has learned something. Such patterns often occur when someone is rapidly developing. However, Alexia declares that she still needs even more strength. All this time, she has only been observing. Rose has gone somewhere alone, and the Oriana Kingdom, which lost its king, is now in a difficult situation. Despite her friends being in trouble, Alexia cannot do anything, which is why she needs strength. She doesn't want to be just an outsider. At night, Sid changes his appearance to that of John Smith and is having a meal at a ramen shop. Then, a woman sits next to him, seemingly a subordinate of Yukaim. She informs him that their preparations are complete, so John immediately goes to the train to meet Yukaim. Yukaim informs him that they have found a base for making counterfeit money, which used to be the domain of Baron Orba. Now, the region is ruled by a judge who lacks motivation and manages it poorly. Yukaim can easily obtain the abandoned mines in that area. For now, their counterfeit money will be sent to the lawless city. Then, they will fake the distribution route and send it to the capital, Midgard. Yukaim already has a sample of the counterfeit money she made and wants John's opinion on its quality. From the 2 pieces of paper, John is very sure that the rough texture and the poorly inked markings belong to the counterfeit money made by Yukaim. However, it turns out that Yukaim states that the money is genuine Trade Federation currency. John retracts his words. Apparently, their imitation is so good that it surpasses the quality of the genuine currency. Nevertheless, John believes they don't need to create new counterfeit money. He is confident that no one will notice it except for him. With that, Yukaim immediately plans to distribute her counterfeit money. According to the plan, they hope the counterfeit money will be exposed quickly. The rest, Yukaim will hand over to John. However, there's one exception, which is Getten. He will handle that person alone. The next day, Gamma reported to Alpha that there was counterfeit Trade Federation money in circulation. Surprisingly, even the Trade Federation itself was unaware of this. They were actually trying to increase the circulation of money. Alpha then ordered Gamma to make the Trade Federation aware of the situation. Alpha believed they would panic upon realizing there was counterfeit money in the market. People would lose trust in paper currency. Suddenly, Alpha suspected that they might intentionally want to destroy the credit of paper money. However, that would be like a suicide plan. Alpha asked Gamma to quickly find the source of the counterfeit money and make it a top priority. Shortly after, as per Alpha's plan, the Trade Federation had now become aware of the counterfeit money in circulation. Garter reported it immediately to Getten. Even though the amount of their paper money in circulation exceeded the total assets of the Trade Federation, which was the source of that money. Getten believed it should also be the same in Mitsugoshi. To maintain the value of paper money was no longer possible. The magical effects of the credit word trusted by ignorant people would just be empty talk. Although counterfeit money was also made of paper, its value was very different from genuine money. If the presence of counterfeit money was known by many people, they would start to doubt it, so Getten felt it would make more sense if the church was the one distributing the counterfeit money. This way, the Trade Federation and Mitsugoshi would be destroyed together. However, this could only be done after obtaining the church's assets hidden within the Trade Federation. Those assets were mixed among the Trade Federations and related organizations. Getten really didn't understand what was happening right now. In the evening, 664, 665, and 666 attempted to infiltrate a train. It seemed that Shadow Garden had discovered that the counterfeit Trade Federation money was being sent through this train. On the other hand, there were several teams still searching for the counterfeit money production facility. When they entered the train, they felt strange because there were no guards or passengers at all. Unbeknownst to them, someone had prepared for the arrival of intruders. That person was John Smith, using magical threads as his weapon. 664 and 665, trapped by his threads, struggled to cut them. 666 immediately tried to close the distance with John Smith. However, it had no effect on John Smith. The real John Smith was confident that Shadow Garden would be the first to realize the counterfeit money, but he said it was still too early. They didn't need to know more than this for now. After that, the 3 of them, unable to move due to John Smith's threads, were thrown out of the train. It seemed the train was accelerating. If that was the case, they wouldn't be able to catch up even if they ran. For now, they had to report to Gamma first. 666 felt very frustrated because it turned out that he was still powerless.